Hi there, my name is Pat Michelli. I am building a 1953 Chevy business coupe. I'm going to do a little video on how to smooth the firewall. I'm going to go ahead and remove these support ribs here that are on these cars. We don't really need any of that support there. I'm going to get rid of some of this other support stuff down here also. I'm going to go ahead and smooth this firewall. Probably not do too much with this transmission tunnel as of yet. I'll have to see once I get the body on the chassis how well that fits. I am probably going to have to do a little clearancing here for the passenger side head on the LS1 motor that's on the chassis that's going under this thing. I built that with Mustang 2 front end and a 4-link suspension. But anyway, what I'm working on this time is going to be smoothing this firewall. And then this is the chassis that body is going to sit on. It's just a regular factory 53 Chevy frame with a Mustang 2 front end that I put on. You know, got that all mocked up and welded up, and then we went ahead and put a LS1 motor in it with a Muncie 4-speed transmission. So the clearancing that I'm going to have to do, if you look at this, you can see that head there, the passenger side head, sits a little bit further back than this driver's side head here. It sits a little more forward, so I'm going to probably have to do a little clearancing on that firewall to get that motor to sit in there real nice. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and I'm using a plasma cutter here. I'm going to see how this works. We'll see if this cuts. We're going to cut this this one here off, hopefully. Let me see if I can get this. So I'm going to stop right there. I went ahead and cut it down to here. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of some of this other part here. I'm not going to go ahead and cut that all the way down. I'm just going to waste material doing that. So we're going to go ahead and make a cut across here next. And I'm hoping that I can just take this whole chunk out in one piece. So I'm going to go ahead and do a cut across here. Something like that. Okay, then I'll try to go ahead. I need to finish this cut up here a little bit. Like so, that's loose now. So we got that all loose. So now I'm just going to go ahead and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down here. cut real well, but I'm going to keep trying. Okay, so we should be close. This whole thing is starting to pop off here. See where we're at. Yep, we're going to be real close. Do a little finishing right here. I got a little spot. Okay, one piece done. Alright, so after that, this piece here was here, like so, and it has been detached, cut off. So now we got a nice clean cut here, and if you see this little strip right here, that's probably got to go. I've probably got to grind that to get that to come off, maybe use an air hammer, air chisel, possibly a Sawzall, I don't know. And then this here will be cleaned up nice. Probably get rid of this other lip here, or this other flange, I guess is what it would be. We'll get rid of that. And then basically I'm going to leave this part here, because the fender, inner fender and stuff mounts here, and then down here is the body to frame mount. And then you've got some more mounts for your fenders on this piece. So I think that's probably something that I'm going to keep. I'll determine that later. I don't like the looks of it. We may be able to do something else with some sort of bracing or whatever from behind, underneath here, coming out, and I'll get rid of that whole thing. I don't know. I'll decide that after a while. I just don't want to cut it out now. So then now I'm going to go ahead and do this other side. Get rid of the same amount, the same type of cut on that one. Okay, so here we go on this next piece. We're going to cut here, we're going to come across here, and we're going to cut down here, just like this. Then I'm going to continue to cut down here, and we'll get rid of this whole portion and keep this for now. I don't know, like I said, if I'm going to keep that or not, but I want to go ahead and save it while I can. I went ahead and put some aluminum foil in these holes here, just to keep the sparks from flying inside the cab there. I don't want any of this this hot stuff going in there, because there may be something flammable on that Firewall. Usually they have that jute, kind of a jute pad, Firewall noise protector. I went ahead and took all that stuff out of there, but you never know. You don't want to catch anything on fire, obviously, especially in your garage. I'm wearing just some sunglasses, because plasma doesn't put out the same type of light that arc welding or MIG welding or TIG welding puts out. So just a pair of sunglasses tends to be okay. All right, let's do this cut. Again, I'm going to start down here, and I'll finish that top after I cut the majority. arc. So I made a nice cut here, a little L shape here. I stopped it there. This time I cut that top flange off, which I probably should have done on this side. Anyway, I did a little cleaner on this side, I think. And then we'll go ahead and continue here. Up here real quick. I got a couple of pieces that need to be broken loose, and we should be good. Let me see here. Grab a hammer real quick. See if we can get this broken loose. I got to hit it just a little more with the cutter. So we'll go ahead and finish this cut up here. Looks like I missed a spot. Oh, we got a little piece in the back on this side I didn't know about. Okay. Well, see if that helps. There we go. Now we're talking. So that's that. I left the pieces that I wanted to leave. Got a nice clean cut here. Nice clean cut there. leave this for my mounts. This will go to the frame, and now we'll go ahead and continue. I'll probably remove that stuff there. I haven't decided how I want to do this yet. So here's where I'm at now with this firewall. I've got this, I've taken out all these vents and whatnot. This bump out here, I just actually cut it out, flipped it over, and kind of welded it in. So that was bumped outwards. Cut it, flipped it, put it back in there, and just kind of tacked it in place. What I'm going to do is, here's a pattern of a piece of kind of a cardboard type paper that I used. This pattern here is going to line up perfectly with this firewall, and that's what I'm going to use to cut my sheet metal out. And once I get that sheet metal cut out, I'll be able to just weld that in place, and it'll give me a nice smooth firewall. So that's what I'm going to use. I'll go ahead and make one for this other side here. I'll make a pattern. That side's a little different, but it'll basically flip, and I'll just put sheet metal in and flatten that thing out. And then my two holes here and here for the heads on the LS1 are going to then be indented with other sheet metal, kind of boxed basically. Okay, so here's my two pieces. There's my driver's side. I've got them taped down to a piece of sheet metal, 16 gauge. There's my passenger side. I've got them taped down, and then I already marked them, so we're going to pull them up. And you're going to see my marks there. And pull this one there. So now I'm going to take the plasma cutter and I'm going to cut those babies out. And then I'll have two nice pieces to smooth my dashboard, or my firewall with. Okay, so I've cut out my firewall plates out of the templates that I made out of the poster board. This is just 16 gauge sheet metal. I went ahead and relieved this in about 2.5 inches on this passenger side, and then on the driver's side it's 1.5 inches in. The LS1 motor is going to actually sit into this firewall. It's going to be kind of a cool little setup. So this is how I did this. I made a template out of another piece of paper, basically, and you can see that that's basically cut to the exact size that I needed. Okay, so that's how you kind of make these pieces. It's very simple if you just make them out of paper templates. And then that went ahead and I got this piece here made, and then inside the firewall here I've got this template. This is the one that's gonna be the piece of metal that finishes off that firewall. So you can kind of see this paper here that I've got is gonna mark off and be the plate for the firewall. And then likewise I'll do the same on this side here. We'll block this whole section here off. So that's it. That's how you smooth a firewall. This part here, I'm going to probably go ahead and do a different type of a plate here. We'll get it all smoothed out. Fill in this hole, that hole, and then of course, you know, we'll get all these edges smoothed out once we get it all welded in. Okay, so quickly, this is Pat Michelli again from Wheat Ridge, Colorado, showing you guys how I smooth a firewall on a 53 Chevy. Okay, so this is it all mocked up. I've got it all tack welded. I'm going to cut those welds loose and pull all that out of there so that we can go ahead and weld up all this, finish weld all these little joints here, and then I'll finish it up. Maybe a little Bondo, who knows, probably not much, if any. Maybe on some of these seams here to blend it into that original firewall. Fill up those holes, fill that up, get rid of that thing there. I don't know, maybe they make an electric windshield wiper motor, but we'll try that. Here's the other side. So that side's the side with the 2.5 inch cut in, and this is a 1.5 inch cut in here. as I got shadows everywhere, but that's a 1.5 inch cut in. That'll all get welded up and smoothed. All these seams here will be blended in. All of this stuff will be blended in here and there. So anyways, that's what it's going to look like. That's just kind of mocked up right now. And I think it'll probably be okay. Once I get her done, I'm going to fill up the rest of those holes and get the rest of it all smoothed out, and then get ready for my power brake booster, steering column, and then on this side probably some air conditioning stuff on that side.